Alright guys, welcome back to another one of my Minecraft modding tutorials for Forge 1.6.4, and we're going to be using Eclipse. So we went through how to set up and everything to get to this point where we are at now in our last video, so let's go ahead and start making our first mod. We gotta go ahead and set up a few more things. Go ahead and open up Eclipse. And you should have something that looks like this. If you don't have your project loaded for whatever reason, Eclipse did not load your project, go ahead and once again select File, switch Workplace, Other, and then browse to where you have your directory and point it inside that directory to Eclipse. So I named mine mod tutorial, and you'd point it to inside there. So wherever you made yours, point it to there and we have things ready and loaded to go. So if you open up the source.main.java, open that up, you'll see there's a package in here, and it's probably called something like example package or something along those lines. Mine's a little bit named differently. But go ahead and just delete that, and we're going to start and we're going to make our own package. And we're not going to go through the tutorial there that they gave us. We're going to do our own tutorial. So go ahead and delete that, and we'll press OK. So there should be nothing inside here anymore. There shouldn't be any arrow there. So once that's all deleted, have that selected and right click it, and we're going to create our first package. So select new or highlight new, go over to package and select package. Now we're going to name this my package. So if you start with a capital letter, it says it's discouraged to have a package name with a capital letter. So by convention, package names usually start with a lowercase. So let's go lowercase. Might screw things up, and we'll just name it my package. And we'll press OK. And we'll select finish. You can name this whatever you want. You can name it your username, whatever. For this tutorial, it's fine to call it my package. It's not going to hurt anything. And select finish. And you have your package created now under source main Java. So make sure that's selected and right click it, and we're going to make our first class now. So highlight new, go over to class and select class. Okay, now we could call this whatever we want, but I suggest calling this main. Wherever you're making a mod, this class, your first main class, that's what it is. It's a main class. It's going to handle, it's like your base class that all your other classes are going to operate from. So, call this main and make this with a capitalized first letter. Whenever you're making a class, always capitalize it. So, capitalize main, call it main, and we'll select finish. And there we go. We have our first class. Our class is now inside package over here, and you can see it imported package and public class main. So we have our first class all set up, and some things I'll walk you through right now. So you can see there's a little Azertic symbol at the top there, a little star. That means we haven't saved it. So anytime you want to save, every time you make a change on your program, press Control S on your keyboard to save it. So I'm going to be saving quite often, and it's kind of automatic for me, so I don't want to be telling you guys to save after every change that you do make. So go ahead and save that. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to set up some things here, and I got a whole bunch of things we can go over, so I'm just going to be copying and pasting a lot of this and walking you through what it actually does. So first thing, this is a comment. So when you do this, now it's a comment, so you could write whatever you want to write after this, and it's not going to affect your code. So this is useful for describing what things are doing in your code, or even commenting out parts of your code. So if you don't want part of your code to run, instead of deleting it, you can comment it out. Alright, so first thing we're going to want to do is tell Forge about our mod. So that's what this line here is going to do. So go ahead and write this out at mod, all this, and I'm going to explain to you guys what this is. So MODID equals your mod identifier. So this is your mod identifier. Write it. You can write whatever you want in here. but basically it's what Forge is going to identify your mod as. So make sure it's in lowercase. Apparently it does matter. Apparently, it has some problems if it's in uppercase, so keep it all in lowercase. I named mine my MOID. You should probably name it the same thing, just in case you come into problems later in the tutorial and you don't understand why your mod's not working because you named it differently or something. But you can name it whatever you want. Now the next thing is the name. So the name of your mod. So the name of your mod is whatever you want your mod name to be. This is what people are going to actually see your mod name as. So whatever you're making your mod, you name it appropriately. It's not going to affect your code or any way. So name it whatever you want. And then the last thing, the version. So we could give it whatever version we want. So whatever kind of numbers we want to use to identify our version of the mod. So once that's all done, you got that all set up. Press Control S on your keyboard, save it, and you'll see we got some errors. If you select problems here at the bottom, we got a whole bunch of errors, and this kind of stuff will be happening lots, and this is normal. And basically, we wrote a piece of code out here, and it's correct, but we have to import some things. So if you just highlight over at mod, you'll see there's an import. So we'll import mod cpw.mods fml common, and we'll select that, and you'll see we just imported this at the top. So we imported a package or a class that is being used by this fml common mod, so that we could utilize it in our code to tell Forge to load our mod. So we're going to be doing a lot of imports, and I'll try to explain what the imports mean further. Just understand that you do need these imports to operate your code. And in a perfect world, if you were coding, it would automatically import what you needed. But I'm not going to get into all that. So save it, Control S on your keyboard, clear your errors after you imported it, and now we can actually test our mod. So let's select play, and we can run client, or hit this arrow here and select client. And we're going to load up our mod, and we're going to be able to see our mod in the game. It's not going to do anything, but we're going to at least see that it's there. Forge knows about it. It's actually loaded, and we're actually in there. So go to mods, and you'll see my mod is in there, and we named it version 1 point whatever you named yours, and name your mod. So it's in there, it's loaded, it's working awesome. So we can just close all that. We know it's loaded. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to set up some folders, get some of the stuff out of the way, make things a little bit easier for our next tutorials. So I'm going to minimize this, go into your directory wherever you put your Eclipse and Forge and all that. Go in there, go into source, into main, into resources, and we're going to have to create a whole bunch of folders. So pause the video, do whatever you got to do. So your first folder is assets. Create assets, name it exactly as is. After that, we're going to go inside there, and we're going to create another folder. Now this folder is going to be called the same folder name as your mod identifier. So whatever you named this, you're going to want to name this folder. So I got the same name going on there. My MOID is my MOID. So inside that folder, another folder called textures, and inside there, 4 more folders: blocks, GUI, items, and model. So go ahead and name those exactly as is, and I'm going to wait 5 minutes for you guys to create all these folders. Just kidding. We'll move on with the tutorial, so let's go ahead. You guys pause the video, do whatever you need, get all those folders out of the way. So after that's all set up, we can set up our main class a little bit more, have this all set up for the next video, which we're going to make our actual mod, and we're going to actually implement something into the game. So let's go ahead and grab a lot of this code here. Let's just grab this for now, I guess, and paste this in here, and I'll delete some of this, and I'll show you guys a good shot so you can copy this all down. So we're gonna make 3 new functions here, 3 new events. Pre-init event, and an init event, and a post-init event. So go ahead and make all these events. You can write it out like so. Public void, and then go like that, and then like so, and then just hit enter on your keyboard, and it'll create. So that's basically how you would start making one of these, and then you fill it in with your event name or your function name, and then your actual the event itself of event. So now we have this event loader or here, but Flash wouldn't really know. Java wouldn't really know about it. So that's why we have this @event symbol. It's the same thing with this like @mod symbol. It's basically telling Java that we have an event here and to handle it. So after you got all this written all out, we're gonna have some more errors. As you can see, if we saved it, we'd have a whole bunch of problems. Once again, to fix these, we're gonna highlight it, import event handlers, which will clear all our event handlers, and it just went gray. And we'll import these as well. So import, and import. So if we just look at the names here, this is the pre-initialization event. So we're gonna be working on a lot in here in our next coming tutorials. This is the initialization event that happens after pre, and then we got the post initialization event. So we'll move on to the next video, and we'll actually work on getting our first mod going.